It's the night before the election. We got something super important to talk about, and it ain't politics. It's fist fights. We're going to talk UFC Fight Night, Neil Magny versus Carlos Prates, and my 5 most confident, I'll fuck this microphone up right now. My 5 most confident locks, and I know some of you don't like to call them locks. Picks, is that what you want? My 5 most confident picks for UFC Fight Night Magny versus Prates. And the obvious one is Carlos Prates. I know he's a 7-1 favorite. And I think they're factoring in that he's finished everybody he's fought in the UFC. And he hasn't fought bums either. Charlie Radtke's real good. And he knocked him out to the body. He's fantastic. His striking is very high level. His takedown defenses look good. He's hard to get a hold of because of his movement. So let's go Carlos Prates. Then I'm going to go with the GOAT, Charlie Radtke. That's my boy. Charlie Radtke, I am blinded by because that's my dude right there. Charlie Radtke getting this thing done on the ground. I think he's going to be able to take down Matthew Semelsberger, submit him, get him out of there. Even on the feet, that left hook is nasty. Then we're going with Denise Gomes. Denise Gomes should be able to beat up a 39-year-old Karolina. Then give me Mansour Abdul-Malik over Todorovic. I think the takedowns will be key there. Malik is strong as shit. And then give me Sopaj over Turcios. Sopaj being able to, he's hands of stone stout. I said that on Moneyline. Shout out to anybody who gets that reference. He's clean with the striking. It's very technically sound, moves in and out well. Lots of good things to say about the striking. I'm aware he got viciously KO'd in his last fight, but he was taking Vinicius Oliveira down, and I think his wrestling's pretty good too. 2 out of 3 areas better than Turcios. Turcios going to have to work off of his back. So the rapid fire 5 are Carlos Prates. Give me Sopaj. Give me Abdul-Malik. Give me Gomes. And then give me Charlie motherfucking Chuck Buffalo Radtke for my 5 most confident picks for UFC Fight Night. And we'll break them down a little bit more. Let's hover. Let's talk about Neil Magny because Neil Magny is durable. He is able to come back as he showed everybody in the fight with the Canadian, Mike Malott. Mike Malott was dominating the fight. Mike Malott was chopping low kicks. Another thing Carlos Prates should be able to do very well is kick Neil Magny. And Neil hung in there, stayed in the fight, waited for an opportunity to sweep a tired Mike Malott. Mike Malott went for a leg lock, which he wasn't very good at. Ended up in a bad spot. Should have put his outside leg on the inside probably. Peeled that knee back, kept Neil Magny on his hip. But what do I know? And then Neil Magny was able to pass to Mount instead and just ground and pound him out until the ref stepped in. So we have to be aware that that's happened. We have to be aware that there are questions about the grappling of Carlos Prates. My problem about Neil Magny here is, how does he get him there? How does he get him there? Because Carlos Prates is very mobile. He's hard to track down in there. I mean, it's like Battleship, right? You don't quite know where he's at. Anybody ever played that game? I dropped a Sam Stout reference, and there's a Battleship board game reference. Am I in my 30s or what? I think that Carlos Prates is going to be able to knock this guy out, but we have to be aware that the threat is with the grappling of Neil Magny. If Neil Magny gets to the top position, if he could find the back, Neil Magny can finish fights. But Carlos Prates should be a wide favorite here. Carlos Prates should be able to smoke him on the feet. He is very exciting. He's putting everybody away. He's the type of guy you can see fighting for the title in 2025. He's on a fast track to do it. He's staying active. He's fighting good guys. He just knocked out Leach. Before that, Chuck Buffalo. That's Charlie Radtke's nickname, if y'all don't know. I know some of y'all are calling him Charles Radtke. It's Charlie. Let's go with knockout for Carlos Prates. Charles Radtke against Matthew Semelsberger. Matthew Semelsberger doesn't suck. Matthew Semelsberger puts pressure on people. He's got some kickboxing. I respect that. But even on the feet, I think Chuck Buffalo's got more power. He's got the left hook. He's clean with it. And then on the ground, I see this as not that competitive. On the ground, I see Charlie Radtke having a significant submission advantage. Charlie Radtke trained at 360 Jiu-Jitsu with Scott Houston, trained with Pat Curran, and with a great group of guys, Vince DeSico, his brother Brian Radtke. I mean, a lot of good guys who are good at grappling. These guys are solid grapplers. I've commentated their fights in the XFO. I commentated Charlie's Radtke fight when he was still an amateur, and the ref tried pulling him off of the dude, and Charlie gave him another one. I mean, this dude was like tapping dudes. Charlie's beat the shit out of some people on the amateur scene. So Charlie Radtke's been a prospect for a long time. My buddy Jeremy Field made a Charlie Radtke highlight video like 6 years ago. So, Charlie Radtke's been working his way up to this. He's newer onto the UFC scene, but as far as being well-rounded goes, as far as knowing martial arts, I mean, his submission game is really good. People just don't know yet. People just don't know how good his guillotine is. So Charlie Radtke via guillotine, via strangle, is how I'm going to go with this one. I think Charlie Radtke hits that high elbow guillotine on Matthew Semelsberger after giving him some work, working him on the fence a little bit, probably hurting him with some strikes, getting some takedowns, getting him a little tired. I think Charlie Radtke via submission is going to be the pick. Then we're going to go with Denise Gomes. Denise Gomes is actually close to her prime as to where Karolina is she's 39. She's a decision machine, so she'll be hard to finish. But Gomes does finish girls, and Karolina is just going to try to point fight her to a decision, probably. It's what she's done against plenty of opponents to get victories in her late 30s here. Give me Denise Gomes in, not the greatest fight we've ever seen, but should be more dangerous, hit harder, have better grappling. A lot of reasons to like Denise Gomes here. So Denise Gomes makes sense. Mansour Abdul-Malik, solid wrestler. Dude's strong as shit. And he's up against a guy who is pretty much just going to have to kickbox him. And it's not like, Dusko Todorovic has this incredible power. He's got a thud to his shot for sure. But I believe he's getting taken down here. I think he ends up on his back. I think he ends up getting grounded and pounded too, because Abdul-Malik is a aggressive wrestler. He'll take you down and he'll finish the fight. So Abdul-Malik finishing this fight makes a lot of sense to me. Abdul-Malik has to be a most confident pick here. And then last but not least, Sopaj. Sopaj just got knocked out in one of the most brutal KOs I've ever seen. And folks, I've seen a lot of fights. I've seen a lot of fights. The flying switch knee that Vinicius Oliveira hit him with was scary. Like, you watch his body go down in that fight and you go, I hope he's okay. We have to remember that was his last fight. So coming in here, they gave him a very winnable fight against a durable, gritty. I got respect for Ricky Turcios. I feel like other people just auto fade Ricky Turcios. Like, dude's got jiu-jitsu. Dude's got, he was in there with Raul Rosas Jr. That was a fight. He had some moments. Raul Rosas had to defend his back. And Raul Rosas, like Sopaj, is a lot stronger and better at wrestling than Turcios. But Turcios is that Nate Diaz style where he's in the fight, he stays in the fight, he's tough, he's got jiu-jitsu, striking's pretty good. Thank you if you said bless you at home. I think that Sopaj should be able to dominate the striking too, though. I think Sopaj's striking is very good. Sopaj is mobile. He's on the balls of his feet. His timing's pretty solid. His takedowns are nice. So I give him 2 out of 3 areas. I think on the feet, especially early Sopaj, and then in the wrestling all the way through Sopaj, it would just be It would just be the jiu-jitsu that gives me any pause in this fight. And then the third round, right? Once Sopaj gets a little tired, maybe Turcios could start pulling something out. So Sopaj's the pick. I'm confident in it, though. All right? So I think he bounces back nicely from one of the most vicious KOs. I mean, that's the only reason why this was last on my list. Not necessarily in order, but I actually did just switch one. I won't tell you which one I pulled. Zip. Because I have like a most confident 7 really on this card. I'm going to put him in because he's good. I told AJ DeVito, I said, if I told you that one of these two, Sopaj or Turcios, is going to be fighting for the title in 2026, who is it? Easy. Easy. Ricky Turcios is not champion material. As to where Sopaj, his window is, who knows? Who knows how good this guy can be? He got tired against Vinicius Oliveira. He got caught with a flying switch knee after getting hurt in the third round. Hopefully that doesn't derail his career, because that was a fucking ugly KO. That was an ugly KO. You guys want to talk about the main event from last week? So Brandon Moreno looked good, man. Amir Albazi was not shooting takedowns, and that's a reason why I didn't give that bet out. The bets I ended up giving out, I'll tell you now. Thug Rose did let me down. That sucked. But I gave out Yusuf Zalal, who looked fantastic. I parlayed that up with Mike Malott. That was like almost even odds, minus 103. Mike Malott ekes by Yusuf Zalal. Beautiful submission. He's on fucking fire right now. Yusuf Zalal, I gave you guys as my most confident. So 4-1 on most confident and 4-1 on the bets as well. We'll take it. Ayman Zahabi I gave out. Ayman Zahabi was minus 138. Boxed nicely against, not Mark Munoz, Pedro Munoz. Charles Jourdain I gave out. That was a fucking fight. It was about even odds. And Charles Jourdain gets it done with a nice guillotine. Very nice. In a fucking fight that, was back and forth. He was dotting up Victor Henry on the feet, and then he was getting out wrestled a little bit, and then pulls through with the submission. I pretty much called it, though. I said he's better at the striking and better at the jiu-jitsu. Come on, dog. Come on, folks. Give me my flowers on that one. And then I had Malott and Giles over 1.5, which was an absolute lock. I mean, Giles and Malott were not trying to finish that fight. Giles wasn't trying to finish that fight. Mike Malott wasn't trying to finish that fight. And they have the over 1.5 just at minus 140. It was easy money. The wild card was Janata Denise by decision at plus 650. Doesn't end up going down because the Black Beast pulls out. So, it was a good card. I had fun. Yeah, not a bad fight night, and neither is this one. I mean, top to bottom, they made some good fights on this card. Even just starting off, Go through it for you real quick. Let's fucking do it. It's Tresean Gore and Tricoli. Tricoli, after fighting Shara Bullet, could you have given him a more different matchup than Shara Bullet? Tresean Gore, big height disadvantage because Tricoli's 6'5". Jesus. It's a strange one. Tricoli's probably a little better at jiu-jitsu, so it won't be getting like crazy bulldog guillotine choke. Kind of just a crazy guillotine, right? That he hit on Josh Fremd. And, so with the submission threat of Tresean Gore away, it's an interesting fight. Definitely not one I'm running to the bank to bet on. Romeus over Gaston Bolanos. That's sick. I've seen Gaston Bolanos get one of the craziest KOs I've ever seen live in Bellator. And, here he is against a fucking explosive guy. It's a fun fight. We'll skip the Mullins and Segula fight. Whatever. Cody Stamann, Damon Blackshear. I think you could say Damon Blackshear probably better at jiu-jitsu and striking, but that's a fun fight. And then Nicolas Dalby and Zaleski, they went to a split decision last time. Why not again, right? That's a good fight. Luana Pinheiro and Jillian Robertson. I already gave my pick out on that one. I got Robertson. GM3 and Reiner DeRitter. You guys want to sit on that one for a second? That one's fun. DeRitter, I watched his grappling match against one of the greatest jiu-jitsu competitors of all time, Andre Galvao. He lost. They actually went to a draw. He lost, but it was good. I notice he starts to slow down as the matches go on. He doesn't have the greatest cardio, a little sloppy with the striking, a little bit. So there's opportunity here for GM3. I'm really rooting for GM3 here. It's a hard fight to pick. Early lean to DeRitter, but like GM3 is live to win this thing. Gerald Meerschaert usually is the submission guy who's just dealing with the kickboxing enough to find a way to get that submission when his opponent gets tired or makes mistakes, or both. This is totally different. He's out there against a great grappler in DeRitter and maybe might play the kickboxer role. So if he just goes out there and kickboxes and defends takedowns, I mean, what the fuck? That's a bizarre one for GM3, right? So he needs to blast some kicks in there. He needs to work. Early lean for DeRitter, but come on. If you haven't seen the GM3 interview, go check it out on the channel. Gerald Meerschaert's a friend of the show. We'll be a friend to him and root for him, okay? I got to pick with this, but Gerald, rooting for you, dog. That's a fun one. Cody Garbrandt and Miles Johns. AJ DeVito picked Cody Garbrandt. I mean, I see what people are saying. Like, Cody Garbrandt is more technically sound, has fought great competition, has gotten knocked out by some of that competition, but, has some wrestling too. Faster, maybe. Still, he's only 33. Got fucking miles on him, but he's only 33. Trains with great grapplers. I saw him training with Khabib's manager, Ali Abdelaziz. My Conor McGregor. Ali Abdelaziz, and then we're training grappling, and I saw him working with, Jeremy Kennedy from Bellator, Patchy Mix from Bellator, who's fantastic grappler. So he might be able to grapple Miles Johns a little bit. I just think Miles Johns is so strong, so competent, doesn't make stupid mistakes, probably finds a way to get this decision. But I understand the Cody No Love pick. If you're on Cody No Love, you got balls too, because, sometimes he's chinny. He gets wild, plants his feet, gets caught. We've seen him make mistakes. He's a strange one. It's always a strange one when Cody No Love's fighting, because you got to watch back that Dominic Cruz fight and go, is this guy one of the greatest UFC fighters ever? He looked incredible. His head movement was incredible. His timing is perfect. His timing was perfect. And then started planting his feet more and brawling, just making stupid mistakes, not putting it together the same. Wrestling didn't look the same. Timing definitely didn't look the same. He went from having some of the best timing in the UFC to some of the worst in the division. Weird. Has some nice highlights on his record and definitely is very talented, very skilled. Cody No Love could win that fight, but we're going Miles Johns. Okay. What's the chat got to say? Let's go. Like the stream, boost the algorithm, give this Finch man his fair due. Thank you, Sean Shelby. I appreciate that. Who's winning the election? I don't bet on elections. I bet on fist fights. Okay? All I will say to the folks is go vote. Just go vote. All right? Just go vote. Do it. Wise says Trump better win. I don't know how, but they had Kamala ahead. They're lying. I've seen Trump slightly ahead, I believe, in the polls. Very slightly. Very close. Wise says, I don't think I know of or met a Kamala voter. Let that sink in. I both know of and have met Kamala voters. They exist. She's no Obama. But they exist for sure. She was considered the most liberal senator because she was a district attorney. No, she's a district attorney. Most liberal politician in California. Now I'm fucking that up. She was the most liberal district attorney, I guess. She's a San Francisco politician, I guess is the point. Y'all been to San Francisco? San Francisco is gorgeous, but they got some fucking issues. It seems like every homeless person in the United States has been to San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? San Francisco's got some problems. So if you want the whole country to look like San Francisco, I guess, Kamala's got good qualities. I don't want to hear it's just do put the politics here. But yes, people do really vote for Kamala Harris. Don't know how Sopaj will respond to that KO loss, so be careful with that one. That's what I'm saying, Shoujo. I'm saying that because of that wicked KO, that's the only thing that gives me a little hesitation, right? Because Sopaj should be much better at wrestling, and his striking is good, man. And he's strong as shit. I like his movement. He's good. Sopaj is very good. So I'm going for it, man. I think Sopaj, you know, can't just judge him off of the KO. There's certainly going to be a mental hurdle for him to get over. There was certainly going to be that mental hurdle for him to get over. So it'll be interested to hear him, see him during fight week, see him at weigh-ins, feel him out, you know, hear about what's going on. But very talented, and sky's the limit, you know. I'm serious when I say he could challenge for a title in 2026. Sky's the limit. He was winning that Vinicius Oliveira fight. Sopaj's good. How do I do the Kimura from closed guard without the motherfucker escaping his arm? I got you. So you sit up and you trap the wrist, and you want to put the wrist low. You want to put their wrist down low here, because then it's their shoulder versus your whole torso. If you're trying to do the Kimura up here, people are very strong up here. They bench press up here. They're fucking strong up here. Put them here. Okay, put their wrist low. So you're trying to punch that wrist as low as possible. That's the first thing I'm looking for, honestly. And you got to have a good double wrist lock. So you got their wrist and you got your own wrist, and then you're not using your arms. You're turning with your body when you do a Kimura. It's your whole torso versus their shoulder. And you'll win that fight every time, Ryan. Good luck. Garbrandt for the upset if he doesn't get chinned. Garbrandt's legit, man. Garbrandt's talented. What's a parlay, Finch? I need bread. Zach, I got you. Just because you asked, even though you didn't donate. That's okay. I got you. Ready? Okay. The parlay is Abdul-Malik sitting around minus 340 when I bet on this. And Sopaj sitting at minus 270. I got minus 129 for it. I already bet it myself. Sopaj and Abdul-Malik, straight money lines in a parlay, sitting at minus 129. Already bet on that one myself. I've actually got 3 parlays here. I got 4 parlays I've already bet on. Won a little parlay happy this week. So they'll be dropping. I'll be dropping all of my most confident bets on Telegram. So my lock, my parlay, my 3 premium plays, my wild card, which I bet on live during the show that I was just on with AJ. So if you guys want to check that out, feel free. That'll be in the premium for sure. And then I might even give that wild card out on the free channel now that I just told you that. But I'll definitely be dropping some parlays that I like a lot in the free channel. So go check them out. I think there's some fucking really good parlay plays this week. And I already bet them myself. So you can't get much more of an endorsement than that, right? I'm already in, and I'm a guy who does like to wait until weigh-ins to bet normally. I got many hundreds of dollars already up. So go check out my plays. Link in the description for the free channel. I'll be dropping some of my favorite parlays as far as my lock, my parlay, my 3 premium plays, and the wild card. That'll be over on the premium side. Go check it out. Happy betting this week. And do me a favor, if you live in the United States of America, go vote. Don't matter who you're voting for. What matters is that you get your voice heard. Until next time, it's peace and love.